He's the commissioner of Major League Baseball. We'll debate and tell you exactly why it's 6:15. We'll buy or sell on several different topics tonight. Will, won't, should are teams that will, won't, and should win, or will, won't, or should lose in week 0/1. And then we continue our 25 plays in 25 days. We're on to number 7 tonight. And as always, we'll wrap up the show with our trash takes. 402-951-1620 is how you can get a hold of Dan Campen and John Schreiner here tonight. I'm Jimmy Allen.
Hi.
You are the Night Shift. Don't forget to punch in and leave us a comment on YouTube on anything we're discussing tonight as well. The 3 most important black shirts on this defense this year. I want to start at number 1 because I know we have the same answer.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty easy answer.
Yep.
For both of us, it's Riley Van Poppel. For me, I think he's the most important guy because he's in the middle. You got to be able to stop the run, and I think he's the run stopper on this defense. More importantly, I think he's a twofold athlete. I think he can get after the passer as well, and he's going to be a guy they can use in multiple situations this year, and I think he's the key to this defense being successful.
Yeah, and he's one of the more highly touted recruits that have come into the program in the last few years. And with this 3-3-5 defense, you need a dominant run-stopping defensive tackle.
You need a guy in the middle.
And they had Nash Hutmaker in that role last year, and he was exactly that. He was a block hog. He took up space. He occupied blockers, allowed those athletes behind him to flow and make plays. And you absolutely need it's such a vital position in this defense. And Riley Van Poppel must perform. And not to mention, like, he's got big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Like we're used to seeing this defense look a certain way over the last couple of years. And it will be glaringly obvious if that man in the middle is not up to par.
There were times last year, and I don't want this to sound like a knock because there was a lot asked of him. There was times last year where I felt like in one-on-one situations specifically, Ty Robinson disappeared a little bit. And now he's playing a ton of snaps, and there's a lot of reasons. I'm not saying he took plays off, but there just seemed to be times where he didn't have the wiggle to get past a blocker or the strength to get off a guy's hands. And Riley Van Poppel seemed to be a guy in the sparing time that we've seen him is a guy that's got enough wiggle to him and enough twitch to him that he can get past guys.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that we didn't necessarily see a lot of last year because of what I just said about Ty and the fact that Nash was garnering double teams, triple teams sometimes. Yeah. And when you have a guy that can just split defenders or split blockers as a defender, that can go a long, long way just to create havoc, let alone massive plays.
He's easily the number 1 most important player on the defense this season for me.
At number 2, I have Cam Lenhard, almost for the exact same reasons that we just talked about with Riley Van Poppel. But we've talked overly extensively about getting off the field on third down. We've kind of put that onus on the secondary and the linebackers. But if you've got a guy that could speed up a quarterback and not only get you off the field on third down, but cause a turnover on third down because you're speeding the quarterback up and getting him off his spots or pushing him up into a pass rush. We saw Cam Lenhard have a massive freshman season. I think he's got to take a step even past that because he had a little bit of a regression last year. He was nicked up a little bit and dealing with some injuries, but he also wasn't the same guy a year ago. We need him to be an elite. He was a freshman All-American. We need him to be an all Big Ten caliber pass rusher this year, in my opinion.
My number 2 was your guy, Dasan McCullough. And I just think you need pass rush out of that jack linebacker position. And if not only just for very obvious reasons, but also to kind of show the proof that's in the pudding for the transfer strategy for Nebraska.
Yeah.
And if you can bring in a guy from Oklahoma with that kind of athleticism and that kind of ability and turn him into an NFL
son of a coach
draft pick, right? Like you can make him a high draft pick by transferring him into Nebraska. I think that goes a long way in showing the rest of the nation of who are good but step ready to play at the NFL level. If you can get that kind of production out of McCullough, it helps a lot. And look, he's going to be asked to not only rush the passer, but he'll have to drop out and cover the flat sometimes. He's going to be asked to set the edge on outside run plays. He has a lot to do. That jack linebacker position has a ton of responsibility. And we know he's athletic and we know he can get after the passer, but he's got to like shore up the rest of his game and be really effective in that spot.
Yeah. And I mean, when you say a guy's a freak enough athlete to play all 3 levels of the defense, that's something special. And you've got to find a way to make him a multi-tool player, not just a one-trick pony. Yep. I don't think he was that. And I think he has that ability. I don't have him on this list because I think what I kind of highlighted the glaring deficiencies that we've seen at times. Because my number 3 is actually 2 guys. It's Deshaun Singleton and Malcolm Hartzog. Now, both of those guys are single-digit guys with a ton of respect from their peers. However, you can't get beat as a defensive back or miss tackles in key spots. And both of those guys in certain situations have missed spots or given up. Like I think about the Minnesota touchdown catch that Malcolm Hartzog gave up.
Yeah.
Deshaun Singleton has missed several tackles in big spots, sometimes been cleaned up by other guys, but also both those guys have clearly made some pretty big plays as well. I think more importantly, they just need to make bigger plays and make those impact plays in the spots that matter the most. Who's your number 3?
My number 3 was Deshaun Singleton. I think you need a tackler and a spirited leader on the back end, and he can be both of those things. And for that, for all the experience that he has, for all the time on the field that we've seen Deshaun Singleton, he needs to bring everybody else along. He needs to be that leader on the back end. I think he can set the tone for what that secondary is going to be, and that makes him vital.
When we talk about the ability to give up the big play, which this defense has been prone to do over the last couple of years, it kind of feels like, and I think the most frustrating thing probably for Husker fans is it doesn't feel like it's one thing. It's been multiple levels and guys at different positions that have given it up. Which of the 3 levels this year do you think needs to take the biggest step forward and why?
I think and the easy answer is the defensive line, because we just don't know what they're going to be. Like we don't have a good picture of what those guys are. We've seen them in limited time. We've seen them in fill-in roles, backup roles, garbage time roles. Not very much, but
yeah.
I think there's just so many more questions about that group. I think my least concern is the secondary. I think the secondary should be really good, and there's a lot of new faces at the linebacking core. But I'd still put the defensive line, and you throw the jack linebacker position in with that defensive line group about rushing the passer. Because when was the last time you felt really good about Nebraska's pass rush?
I think in certain games last year you felt really good about it, but in the bigger games, that kind of disappeared. And really
like
in the month of November.
Taking the season in totality, when was the last time you felt good about Nebraska's pass? Randy Gregory?
I was going to say 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been some really, really good defensive linemen at Nebraska since then. There hasn't been that total eraser, make a difference. We need somebody to make a play and step up and make that play here. And that's the reason why I put Cam Lenhart number 2 on this list, because Riley Van Poppel can be as good as you need him to be and still not be that guy. Because in that spot in the middle, you're going to draw so much attention, like Nash did last year with double teams and triple teams, just by the way this defense lines up. You need somebody on the outside to be able to make that play. Now, you can throw Elijah Judy into that conversation, because I think from a leadership standpoint, he's going to be a guy that's going to be vocal and hold guys accountable.
And Keanu Davis too.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Keanu Davis. Like, I want to believe that he can be that guy. You can probably have this discussion about Williams-Nwaneri at some point as well. It's just I feel like Cam and Riley Van Poppel specifically have shown us on the field that we've seen it out of those guys that potential is there, right?
Glimpses,
I don't know if worrisome is the right word, but there's something to every time Williams-Nwaneri is brought up, the coaching staff is like, he's going to play and he's really good. We're just working on some things, or like you just kind of wait for the butt. Yeah, like there's something there, and I think you could point at the fact that he was at Missouri last year as a 5-star prospect and didn't see the field very often. So there's clearly something that's amiss. Now that happens a lot in college football, and Williams-Nwaneri is clearly a talented enough kid. It's eventually going to work itself out. You just got to get him up to speed and bring him. It seems to be a mental thing. I don't want to speak for him or the coaching staff, but every time they talk about it, it seems like to be a mental thing and maybe figuring out the college football overall.
The biggest job with a guy like Williams-Nwaneri might not be anything but keeping him in the program. Like giving him enough, I don't know, if snaps or confidence or whatever it is, to keep him believing that he's in the right spot. Because when a guy comes out of high school with a 5-star tag and that much raw talent
and that frame
and all those measurables, and then for whatever reason doesn't get on the field, that's a transfer candidate. because he's been fed all the information that would lead him to believe he is the next coming of Reggie White. You know what I mean? Like he's the next JJ Watt, whatever great pass rusher you want to throw in there. And when it's not working out for him, I think it's harder for people of that age to look in the mirror and say, this is a me problem than it's this program. It's not the right place for me. I'm not getting the right training.
Sure.
And so if this season goes anything similar to last season for Williams Nwaneri, I worry about him transferring again.
Well, I don't. And here's why. Because I think it's really important to point out that he was a really heavy lean for Nebraska until that law got passed in Missouri.
Yeah.
Where if you stayed in state, you could collect NIL and be paid essentially as a high school player as long as you were going to the in-state school. Like it seemed.
But you have no concerns.
I don't. Not about transferring. I have concerns about maybe it might take him a little bit longer to get there or pan
That's what
out.
I mean. I think
you said transfer though.
Yeah, but I think if you can keep him in the program and develop him and get him to understand the defense in a way that everyone feels comfortable with, he can be an absolute game changer on the defensive line. But if you can't get him there and he doesn't feel like he's in the right spot because he's not playing or whatever it is, that seems like a guy that's going to go out the door.
Yeah, and money may be the cause for that. But we've all been in situations where we're unhappy, right? Like you've done a job where you're just there to collect the paycheck. And it felt like Missouri was on Williams Nwaneri's list last year because it was the in-state school and he probably had some people to appease.
Yeah.
And then that law gets passed and the next day he's a Missouri Tiger. I don't think that's a coincidence. And he clearly wasn't happy there. And anytime you're unhappy anywhere, you're going to underperform. It doesn't matter what it is and how well cut out you are for it. Now, I think there's also some self-reflection, right? If Williams Nwaneri isn't there in his second year in a college football program, if he's not able to identify that or isn't able to make those jumps, that's a him problem. And if he does leave for those reasons, that might be a positive for Nebraska. With that being said, this coaching staff seems to have the fingers on the pulse of what needs to happen for him to be a factor in this defense. Yeah. And I don't think that's going to be the case.
And look, there's not a history of guys just bailing on this program.
Right. Like, and that's an important part too.
They bring in more than they lose typically. So, I mean, it's a small concern for me, but it is still a concern.
Hey, if you missed the opening segment tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. We gave you all three of our most important black shirts this upcoming season. It was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. Aloe Fiber's got a steal of a deal for you all the way up until Labor Day. You can switch, stack, and save. What does that mean, Jimmy? I'm going to tell you. You combine Aloe's internet with DirecTV and the all-new Aloe Mobile and lock in your price for 2 years. That's 24 months of premium services with no surprises. This deal is up for grabs until Labor Day, so don't wait. Head over to aloefiber.com/stack and save tonight. We'll be right back. Conference realignment in Major League Baseball. 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody. John Schreiner here for Jerry Ryan Closing and Sportswear. Look, the summer, it's coming to an end. Football season, it is so close. But there are still hot days out there, and you can get some great summer gear, 20 to 50% off right now at Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge. Check it out tomorrow. On the rack, they've got suits, sport coats, pants, sport shirts, shorts, polos, and all of it is 20 to 50% off. This isn't something you buy in the midwinter and you got to leave on the shelf until next spring. You can put this on next weekend when you head out for a round of golf before we get to the big day down in Kansas City. And maybe you're heading down to Kansas City for that big game on a Thursday night. Well, you can get some Nebraska gear before you head down. They've got that in stock as well in all your favorite brands. Get your sale summer gear, 20 to 50% off. 78th and Dodge, Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, dressing Omaha for over 50 years.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Awfully warm this evening with the heat index still in the 90s. Later tonight will be clear to partly cloudy. See the low down to 68 degrees with some fog late. Fog is possible early on Wednesday. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny with a high in the upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
Railcars Happy Hour is here.
Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8, and every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Railcar's incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday.
Railcar Modern American Kitchen.
144th and Blondo.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
This August, Chesterman Coca-Cola and Hy-Vee are teaming up to support high school sports across the metro. All month long, grab your favorite Coke-flavored 12-packs for just $5.99 and Powerade 20-ounce 8-packs for only $4.99. Plus, to keep our athletes fueled and hydrated, Chesterman Coca-Cola and Hy-Vee are donating $400 worth of body armor and Powerade to local high schools. Chesterman Coca-Cola and Hy-Vee, keeping high school tailgates hydrated all August long.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
It's the tail end of the season. Does it seem like your AC unit is already checking out, not kicking on when it's supposed to, not cooling like it did back in April? Your unit may be reaching the end of its life, or may just need some TLC. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today. Set up a maintenance appointment to finish out the summer strong and prepare your home for the fall and winter months. You don't want to replace that AC unit, but if you have to, Controlled Comfort is here.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control. Yeah.
Indoor air quality is a top priority for you. You inspect your heating and cooling system, clean the air ducts, and change the filters on time. But here's a question. What about radon? You keep dust and allergens out of your home, but radon? You can't see it, you can't smell it, but it's there, and long-term exposure can lead to serious health risks, including lung cancer. The only way to know for sure is to get your home tested. Reach out to Radon Defense Midwest today. Protect your family's health. Visit radonradio.com.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$6:20 on a Taste Test Tuesday edition of the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Bellevue University. Keep up to date on all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus this fall by downloading the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. Rob Manfred is asking the question that Tony Petitti, any commissioner that isn't the SEC, really hasn't asked himself. Just because we can do something, should we do it? The commissioner of Major League Baseball today has talked about expansion. He said, I think if we expand, it provides us with an opportunity geographically to realign. I think we could save a lot of wear and tear on our players in terms of travel. And I think our postseason format would be even more appealing because you'd be playing out of the East and out of the West. And now at 10 o'clock in a time slot where sometimes you get Boston and Anaheim, it would be two West Coast teams in that 10 o'clock slot. So essentially, Major League Baseball players are having an issue traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast, but we're asking freshmen at Rutgers and USC to do the same thing.
Yeah, and I think, but again, his main point is about what, Jimmy?
Saving money.
Money.
Yep.
It's absolutely because not only
Spending that money.
We're trying to save owners money on travel, yes, but we're also saying, look, when we have a 10 o'clock game in Boston, less people are watching it. If we could play that game in Boston at 6 o'clock, we'd have a bigger audience. And we'll play the game in Anaheim at, 7 o'clock
Eastern time.
West Coast time. It'll be 10 o'clock East Coast, but who cares about that? And we'll still have a big audience on the West Coast game. Like, He is thinking in terms of TV ratings and TV contracts and how to maximize the dollars that come in.
You know me. I'm 90 years old in my soul. I hate things like alternate uniforms and blackouts at a stadium that's red every every Saturday.
Me.
I'm kind of with Rob Manfred on the getting rid of the AL NL thing.
Why?
Really?
Because it's the reason you did this is because there were two separate leagues 3,000 years ago.
Okay, and
there's no need for it's literally only the AL and NL because that's the way it's always
you
been.
do realize there are only 4 teams that this actually like is a true problem for. 4 teams and 4 leagues. Miami in the NL East, Tampa in the AL East, and then maybe I'll hear your argument for the Colorado Rockies, and I would also maybe hear your argument for the St. Louis Cardinals or the Pittsburgh Pirates. One of those two is out of place. Other than that, it's fine. Oh yeah, and don't let me forget Seattle.
And what's fine? I don't understand what you're saying.
I think
those are the only teams that like have any sort of trouble with travel within their division. If you're playing within your division,
within your division though, you play everybody.
But
so guess what? Rob Manfred is a dummy because his solution is, we should make it more geographically located. Perfectly fine. You're still going to have a series where Boston is going to go to Anaheim or Los Angeles or San Diego or hell, Colorado.
An interleague play is what you're talking about. Yes. But right now, one of the big sticking points was that like New York and Baltimore and Boston all have to go and play in Miami. Or in Tampa, rather. I'm sorry.
Tampa, yeah.
In Tampa.
They're Tampa.
And so that's the travel that they're trying to eliminate because Tampa is in the East and there's no good place to put them with a group of geographically located teams right now. But what he's saying is if you grouped Tampa, Miami, Atlanta, and then, I don't know, somebody else, an expansion team in Nashville or something.
They'd probably do some BS like put St. Louis in there for some reason.
And then your in-division travel is much, much closer. And you spend much less time and much less money on flights and the like.
That's good because that fixes 50 games of your problem. Good job, Rob.
Okay, but the alternative is doing nothing.
I'm not.
You know what's fun?
Like, I don't. I am not typically the one who stands on tradition. I think like if you can change something and make it better, make it better. Like that's
where I'm
generally my position. If something can be made better, let's do that.
And I think it's important to point out that they're doing this based on if they were able to expand and add 2 teams, which to your point, Dan, with the way it is now, I agree with everything you just said. That's clearly true. But if you add a team probably in Nashville, like you just said,
and maybe one in Salt Lake City.
Somewhere, on the closest side of the West Coast, I'm here to tell you that's probably exactly where it's going to be.
Oh, I know.
That, especially and also when you take the A's out of California and now move them to Nevada, now all the teams in California got to travel a little bit further as well. Like I know it's 4 hours. Don't come at me. It's farther than 2. Hear me out. That is where it becomes a problem because now you're also dealing with travel you've never had to deal with before. There's more to it than just what we have now. And I think that's why baseball, which is just randomly got on this kick over the last 2 to 3 years about let's try being forward thinking for the first time in our 100 years existence, seems to be like, hey, we're making the game better and more important. How do we keep doing this? And like
the other thing is that like until I can't remember what year it happened, but there was just an AL and an NL. There were no divisions.
Right.
And then they said, okay, let's split this thing up into divisions. Why? To ease travel. Right. And because they were adding teams to the playoff. It was no longer just like the pennant winner made it to the postseason. They were trying to expand the postseason. And by realigning things, and expanding the teams, they can again add more games to the postseason.
The National League didn't have a designated hitter until 3 years ago. Like it's taken a while for this league to progress. Now that they've done progressive things, they're going, hey, our game's getting more exciting and people care more. How do we continue to fix it? And I don't hate anything about this.
I hate everything about it.
We noticed.
The only thing that I don't like is that it's going to break up some traditional rivals. Like you're going to split the White Sox and the Royals are probably not going to stay in the same division with the White Sox and the Tigers and the Twins. Like that, they're probably getting split up.
You don't think so? I mean, that regionally makes sense
because you have the two Chicago teams. You would replace the
Kansas
Royals.
City and Chicago aren't near each other.
No, they're not.
You would probably replace the Royals with the other Chicago team, however you want to slice it. Like you move the Cubs over, so that the Cubs, White Sox, Twins.
I wonder
Tigers,
if that would be a point of emphasis to try to keep the two Chicago and two New York teams separate.
I would.
If we're talking about geographically, it'd be kind of hard to do so.
And it does create some interesting new rivalries. Like you get a Subway Series many times a year. You get the Chicago L Train Series many times a year. You get Kansas City and St. Louis many times a year. It creates some interesting things, but it is going to split some traditional rivals that won't play each other as often, which kind of sucks. It feels like the breakup of the Big 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The real big problem that I see with it is you don't really have a great way to slice it, because any way that you go about thinking about it, it ends up being East Coast, West Coast, and what I would consider your traditional Midwest teams. So how do you slot in the Texas teams? What do you do about the teams that occupy the same state, a la St. Louis, Kansas City? To your point already, both of the Chicagos, both of the New Yorks. How do you, get past the Cincinnati and Cleveland of it all? Like it's a weird split that we're going to have, because you could basically just say, all right, we're going to have the teams in California, the teams in Florida, maybe a couple of the coastal teams, but you're not going to eliminate travel the way that you think you are.
So
you know what? Hold on. It's August. We're a week away from football. Let's move on to football. Chris Phillips from SEC Unfiltered is joining us next. We come back. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by our friends at Timber Wood Fire Bistro. It is a Taste Test Tuesday. Head over to our Twitter page right now at After Hours 1620. Retweet the post from Timber. You could be going to Timber Wood Fire Bistro on us tonight. A $25 gift card will be given away tonight. Do you want to be eating for free over off 87th and Pacific? You can do it by sharing out the tweet of Timber's post tonight. We'll be right back, catching up with our good friend Chris Phillips from SEC Unfiltered when we come back on 1620 The Zone.
No liquor left on the shelf. I should probably introduce myself. I should have seen what I want.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Bob at Williams Law. If you have legal troubles in your life, you are probably extremely stressed out right now. The questions are weighing heavy on your mind, and you don't know where to get good answers. Don't go to TikTok for their free garbage legal advice from the quote-unquote experts on your social media app. Go to an actual professional lawyer with a great legal mind who comes in studio with us and talks about the big legal issues in sports and explains it to this crew in terms that we can understand. No matter what your situation, civil, criminal, personal, Bob can explain it to you in a way that's going to make sense and get you ready for your big day in court, all while easing your concerns. And you don't have to sign anything or pay a dime for the initial consultation. That's right. It's a free, no obligation legal consultation with Bob from Williams Law. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen the community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call Local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
It's the tail end of the season. Does it seem like your AC unit is already checking out, not kicking on when it's supposed to, not cooling like it did back in April? Your unit may be reaching the end of its life, or may just need some TLC. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today. Set up a maintenance appointment to finish out the summer strong and prepare your home for the fall and winter months. You don't want to replace that AC unit, but if you have to, Controlled Comfort is here.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with Trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
Redefine your luxury shopping experience at Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Receive 2.99% APR for 60 months or 3.99% APR for 72 months on our 2025 Genesis GV80 3.5 Turbo Prestige models in stock. Plus, enjoy up to $5,000 loyalty or competitive owner bonus. With approved credit, tax title license extra. When financed with Genesis Finance, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 8/31/25. See dealer for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
.35 on a Taste Test Tuesday here at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking to keep up to date on all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus, download the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. The Bruins will not be participating in the SEC. However, the gentleman that joins us now will be covering a ton of SEC action coming up this fall. It's our good friend Chris Phillips, who comes back this year from SEC Unfiltered. Chris, thanks for being here, man. We appreciate it.
Guys, what's going on? Appreciate y'all having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, and good to see you since Omaha. It's been a fun summer, counting down the days, and obviously it was a lot of fun when we linked up out there at the College World Series. But, yeah, excited for football, man. Week 0, we count it. I'm going to be watching it. We'll be throwing some bets around, and then obviously we get to next week, man, and the SEC hits the field. So super pumped for it. Let's
start there. What's the lock of the week for you in week 0?
Oh, it's a good question, man. I'm probably going to go Kansas State. I'm already going Kansas State.
Same team, buddy.
I threw a little bet on them. I bought them down to -2.5. We're also going to play the under probably. And I'm going to Bose, Hawaii, money line. That's just a gut feel. I just want to bet on Hawaii, to be honest with you. So yeah, we'll try to get off to a hot start this weekend. We'll throw 3 or 4 bets in, nothing too crazy, and hopefully get up a little bit. Or nothing better than trying to dig yourself out of the hole early, right?
That's right.
So, but no, it'll be fun, man. I mean, obviously we've got our business partner FanDuel. We'll be pushing gambling hard all season long, so it'll be a good time. That's part of it.
Yeah. Well, obviously we talk a ton of Big Ten football around here, so we love to get you on to see what the other big time conference is doing. And just from an overall view, I think the predictions for the SEC vary so much this year. For years, it seemed like you kind of had to pick Bama or Georgia or get laughed out of the room, right? And this year, it's all over the place, man. You got people picking Texas A&M. Billy Napier's supposed to have a renaissance in Florida. Can Josh Heupel do it with the new quarterback at Tennessee? You've still got Bama and Georgia, but Texas is in the mix. Can Oklahoma do anything with all those transfers they brought in? I mean, is this about as crazy and wide open of an SEC as you can remember?
Yeah, John, I said this, I think, last week. I think we're in for the best season of SEC football we've ever seen. And I'm not trying to be like over-exaggerating or be someone that says that like every year, but I just think when you look at what happened last year because of the increased parity, because I think of what the portal and NIL and some of these different things have done, I think we're only going to get more of that. And it's indicated, like you said, by the fact that, there's not – I mean, one of my big questions going in is, do we have an elite team? I don't know. We might not. The SEC, it might just be a bunch of really, really good teams, and there's nobody elite that separates themselves and is head and shoulders above. But, I mean, you can make a case for 7 or 8 teams why they'll be playing in the SEC championship, why they'll be in Atlanta, why they could win the SEC title. You can make a case for 10 or 11 teams why they could make the college football playoff. And you can also make a case for why those teams will not reach those goals. So, yeah, there's a lot of variety. I think anytime you have so many new signal callers in the league, also quarterback, it's that's going to open up the door for some pretty wacky results. And I think that's what we're going to get from the jump. I think it's going to be unpredictable on a weekly basis. We're dropping our game by game predictions for every single team right now, and I've got some results out there that have definitely some fan bases have raised their eyebrow a little bit, but I'm like, bear with me. You got to just kind of try to think outside the box, I think, a little bit, because there's you guys know it as well as I do. We're in the point right now of the preseason where all of our predictions fit in this neat little box. They look really good written down on a sheet of paper. They all make sense. The problem is college football doesn't make sense, guys. It never has, and it never will. And especially like last year, again, if we get more of that, expect the unexpected. So that being said, though, the league is as deep and as competitive it's been in quite some time. There's a very clearly defined bottom, right? I think you look at like Mississippi State, Kentucky. I'd probably throw Arkansas in there, even though I think Taylon Green's a guy that any given week could pop off and carry that team and beat you. Some people want to throw Vandy in there, but I mean, yeah, doubt Diego Pavia at your own risk. I know he's talked a lot this offseason, but they might, and I think will sneak up on somebody. But I mean, outside of that, there's this laundry list of teams when you're asking yourself, who's the 5th best team or who's the 4th best team? Because we don't even know if LSU is going to claim that spot. So it's going to make for a really, really fun season, guys. I think it could be the most entertaining season of SEC football at minimum we've ever seen.
I've been on the train that this is going to be the Kalen DeBoer revenge tour. I have Alabama, ended up being the number 1 seed in my playoff projections. What happens, though, if Alabama is another 9-win season, missed the playoff type team this year? Does that say more about the SEC or more about Kalen DeBoer, in your opinion?
Yeah, Jimmy, first thing to what you were saying about Alabama, I've got them going 11-1, going to the SEC title game. I don't know that I was first on that. I'm not really someone that I'm going to go out there and beat my chest if I was the first one to start hyping up Alabama. But I'm starting to get nervous how many people are hyping up Alabama along with me. So we'll see. But I get it, though. I mean, I was singing their praises at SEC Media Days about a month or so ago. I love that roster. Quarterback's the pick to click. If Ty Simpson is just solid, they're loaded everywhere else. So I agree with you. I think Bama's a great pick to get to Atlanta, get to the playoff. But does it say more about the SEC or Kalen DeBoer? I think a little bit of both. I don't want me to give you a cop-out answer. I mean, I think it will show us that, the league is really deep. I mean, it's just hard to, it's hard to win on a weekly basis. But for folks in Tuscaloosa, there's no excuse. And I think that, I don't know if I'll go as far as to say this. I don't know if Kalen DeBoer is the guy if you can't get to a playoff this year with that roster. Because if you're 9-3, you definitely lost to somebody you shouldn't have, right? I mean, listen, I can justify losing in Athens. I can justify losing to LSU, which, funny enough, though, guys, I say that you have a bye week before both. So I don't think you should lose both of those games, and LSU is at home. But who would that third loss be? Or who would that fourth loss be? You're going to lose to Oklahoma again?
Can't lose to Vanderbilt again.
If you lose to Vanderbilt again, I mean, I was hanging out with some of my buddies this weekend that are Crimson Tide guys, they're alumni. They told me, Chris, if they lose to Vandy again on the home field, they should fire him on the spot. I mean, it's kind of the understanding, because I asked them, I said, what would have to happen for us to really be having serious hot seat talks with Kalen DeBoer? And again, these are guys that, they would be in the know when it comes to the Crimson Tide. And I mean, they essentially said it would have to implode, right? So like, even if they went 8-4, I don't think he's getting fired, but the pressure and the seat will be scorching, right? So like, I think this is a team, it kind of feels like we're marking off the answers on the test right now. And the question we're presented with is Alabama going to the college football playoff in 2025? The correct answer feels like yes. Not just the opinion, but the correct answer. We'll see. We've been proven wrong before, but guys, I think there's no excuse not to go 10-2 with this roster.
Yeah. I was going to give you flack for riding the fence there, but that was a pretty good response.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would not fire Kalen DeBoer. They'd have to go like 3-9. I mean, legitimately. I wouldn't fire him, but because there's just other factors. But yeah, I will really genuinely question if he is the guy, because at some point, like Alabama, you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. I mean, that was the biggest thing last year. I mean, you looked great against Georgia for a half, but you beat the LSU's brains out. But you no-show at Vandy, and really the one that was so befuddling was you no-showed at Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. That wasn't a good team. So, yeah, they got to win the games they're supposed to win. I mean, with the talent they have, there'd just be no excuse not to.
We love talking about the top dogs, but I think there's a couple of mid-pack teams in the SEC this year that are the most interesting cases to me. Oklahoma and Auburn. Both head coaches probably need some measure of success to go and sell their bosses at the end of the year. So who do you think has the tougher road for keeping their job, Hugh Freeze or Brent Venables?
That's an interesting question, John, because I think the tougher road in regards to schedule is Oklahoma. The tougher road in regards to probably can't get out of their own way because they have two left feet is Hugh Freeze. Yeah. I mean, it is – we are playing a game right now during fall camp is what ridiculous thing can Hugh Freeze or what ridiculous thing can Auburn do today? I mean, today we're getting news they're adding – 7 national titles because that Auburn team of 1910 got robbed for sure. They absolutely deserve that national title. It is one thing after another for Auburn. You then get and here's the thing. I was actually talking to a buddy of mine, Jake Crane, today, who's a noted Auburn guy, does a great job with his show, Crane and Company. But we were talking about this, and he and I agree, and I know you guys will as well. When things have been going poorly, we make a mountain out of a molehill of everything. So, for example, he's asked, will we see all 3 quarterbacks against Baylor? And per my understanding, the answer he kind of gave was kind of like yeah, sure. Right. We're going to see all 3. Like, he wasn't being serious. But that quote is just posted on social media, and everybody's like, now the sky is falling. We're going to see all 3 quarterbacks. Yeah. It's like, guys, he wasn't even being serious. But, that's just where we are with Auburn. Yep. Guys, I don't trust Hugh Freeze as far as I could throw him. I really don't. I mean, that team, it is so easy to fall in love with the roster. I think there's a lot of potential there with Jackson Arnold. I still like his skill set. They could end up having arguably the best wide receiver room in the SEC with Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton, who I think is going to be a game changer for them, especially in the red zone. I think they've got some bodies that aren't household names yet that will be by season's end when it comes to the running back position. I think they'll be better there than people expect, replacing Jarquez Hunter. And DJ's Durkins defensively, listen, I mean, they've been good every single year. That was the thing that kind of gave them even a remote chance last year to have any success at all. So it is a team, a roster that should have success. I think they've got a harder path from the standpoint of maybe even what they're battling internally than what an Oklahoma's battling. I expect Oklahoma to have more success. I agree with you. I think one of them's going to pop. We dropped our game-by-game predictions for Oklahoma today. I've got them at 9-3. Again, that's another one where I'm a little bit scared because I'm like, people started asking me, is Oklahoma the most underrated team? Like, they're not underrated anymore, man. Like, everybody's picking them to go win 9 games or 10 games. They're preseason ranked top 20. They're not underrated. We're not underrating Oklahoma anymore. But I like John Mateer at OU. I think he's going to be one of the SEC's most exciting players. I love the pickup of Jaden Ott. Thought that was super underrated. Deion Burks at receiver. I think he's actually going to put up the numbers he was capable of putting up last year, but didn't because the quarterback play was so bad. The offensive line, God, it can't get worse. If it can just be average, we're going to be cooking. And I think defensively, listen, I give Brent the benefit of the doubt. You also bring in Ben Arbuckle, who I think that was a massive upgrade at OC, but I think Brent's going to have the defense stout. They are very underrated in the front seven. R. Mason Thomas and Kip Lewis are two guys we just simply don't talk about enough, and I think they'll be solid in the back of the defense. So schedule's harder, but I trust Oklahoma more to pop off. With Auburn, I'm just in complete show me mode. I mean, it's like what is going to change within that program to where you're going to have opportunities to win big games? Are you going to clutch up, or are you going to crumble like you have in the first 2 years of Hugh Freeze? I will say this too, though. What makes Oklahoma fascinating, talking to them guys, if Auburn goes 8-4, Hugh Freeze is back. If Oklahoma goes 8-4, I don't know that Brent is back, and this is coming from them. So the expectations in Norman are pretty wild when you consider what they were last year and how difficult the league is. But, I mean, guys, that's a program that they're not used to not winning big, right? So, yeah, it's going to be fascinating. I agree. One of those two I think is going to pop off and surprise.
We're catching up with Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered here on After Hours. Chris, I want to ask, we talk about the familiar faces. Who are some of the freshmen in the SEC that you think could make an impact this year, and who are you most excited to see?
My mind immediately goes to DJ Pickett over at LSU. I think a guy, long body defensive back. You know, they've got a bunch of new guys in their secondary, Mansour Lane, Tamarcus Cooley, AJ Halsey. They're depending on all these transfer guys. But DJ Pickett is someone they were really, really excited about when they signed him, and I think he's going to play a ton. David Sanders over at Tennessee, the offensive lineman, I think he's going to be thrust immediately at that tackle spot. I think he is. What did you say? I think he was going to go to Nebraska.
Yeah,
they were in his recruitment. Yeah, that was
rolled out the red carpet for him.
Yeah, we all remember that recruitment, and I mean how outrageous the visits get nowadays. It's pretty wild. But anyways, he picks Tennessee, and I listen. You got a new quarterback in Joey Aguilar, and David Sanders very well could be protecting his blind side, and that's saying a lot for a freshman to come in and play on the offensive line in the SEC. That might be by necessity as well, but the kid's obviously got a ton of talent. Trying to think of others across the board. You know, it's just interesting. So many of the new faces aren't freshmen anymore. So
good point.
You know, it's there's so many transfer guys, and those are the guys I feel like we talk more about and we're most excited to see. But yeah, I'd say Pickett at LSU probably excites you most. Sanders, I think, is a really intriguing one. But I mean, there's a number of guys, right? There's always guys we've never heard of that we're going to get about halfway through the season are going to be standouts. But I feel like the transfer has kind of taken over that the newcomers filling in, and you don't really have to play freshmen anymore because if you have to plug and play, you can go get them out of the portal.
All right, got one more for you here, Chris. Now, it's dealer's choice. So do you want a Texas A&M question or a Texas question?
See, John, here's the thing. Depending on the answer, I'm going to get labeled I'm either a Longhorn homer or an Aggie homer, which is so funny. I literally – we drop our Oklahoma predictions today. I had a guy reply, and he said, this is a really objective opinion from a Longhorn homer. I'm like, you know you're doing well when I've got A&M, Texas, and Oklahoma people. They all think I'm on the rival side. I'm like, we must be doing something right then. But you pick. I'll let you. I'm gonna turn it back on you. You pick. I'll take both if you want.
What do you mean you don't have Texas A&M going 0-12?
Nah.
So we'll go. I think A&M is the more interesting question. I picked Texas to win the national title on our show. So we'll get your opinion on A&M. A lot of people have them as sort of a dark horse or a sleeper to maybe win the SEC, make the college football playoff. But Texas A&M has this perennial underachiever tag, like permanently affixed to the gates of Kyle Field. Do you think they have the horses and the coach to finally break that stigma this year?
I think they do, but what you just said still applies. There is a stigma there. And here's the thing. They have the personnel. Yes. Again, that's another roster. They might have the best offensive line and not just the SEC, but all of college football. Like when you look at all the experience it's back and the thousands of snaps they return up front, their running back room might be the best with Le'Veon Moss and Reuben Owens. You know, I think if Marcel Reed can take that next step, right? They got some guys on the outside of Casey Concepcion that I think was a really, really big pickup from NC State. They got some other playmakers there as well. And then defensively, again, kind of like I was talking Brent Venables, I mean, Mike Elko, all he does is feel good defenses. Now, they got to make some strides in the back end of the defense. The secondary hurt them a season ago, and certainly they added some pieces. I think Torian York in the front seven is about as underrated as it gets at the linebacker spot. So, I mean, they've got the personnel, in my opinion. And I think Mike Elko is a good coach, and I won't doubt that at some point he does get him to a playoff. I mean, guys, I hate to say this because it's going to sound like a lazy take, and I think Aggies will, when the predictions come out in a few days, they're going to roll their eyes. But, guys, I'm kind of the mindset I'm picking A&M to go 8-4 until I see otherwise. Like, it's just at some point you are who you are. And I hope A&M breaks through that glass ceiling because, guys, they are a really, really fun fan base. They are really passionate. They're one of the biggest fan bases in the conference. I'd love to talk about A&M every single week about this team making a run to the playoff and talk about them in postseason play and talk about them in a positive light in regards to finally reaching what they're capable of. But at some point, your DNA is your DNA. And so I need to see it, right? I mean, the biggest question I think for them, it does come back to Marcel Reed and taking the next step. You know, I think week 3 at Notre Dame, huge opportunity. I think that's going to tell us a lot. You know, and guys, the schedule sets up well too. I mean, really, truly, A&M's got, it's not an easy schedule, but in the SEC, they're not all built equally. They got a favorable schedule, man. I mean, 3 straight home games in SEC play to start. You know, your road games, you do have to go to LSU, but outside of that, you got Arkansas on the road, Mizzou on the road. You close out at Texas. But I mean, this is absolutely a team that we should be talking about when we get to the month of November. They at minimum should be in the college football playoff conversation. Now, how do they close out the season? You know, last year you start 7-1. You know, and it was funny, guys. I picked A&M to go 8-4 last year because I felt like, hey, year 1 of Mike Elko, and I felt like that would be a good year. I was like, hey, year 1 of Elko, like, let's be patient. There's a lot of change right now. It's going to take a little bit to get the stink of that Jimbo era off the program. They started 7-1, and I felt pretty foolish, and they finished at 8-4, and I was like, well, you know, I mean, there you go.
It matters how it happens.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how it happens. So, but I do think at the ceiling, I think this team could get to 10 wins. I'm just not going to be bold enough to predict it.
Well, Chris, when Ohio State kicks Texas's ass in the first week, we'd love to talk to you again and tell you about how the Big Ten's the superior conference. We appreciate your time tonight, man.
Yeah, guys, appreciate y'all. Always a pleasure.
If you get the chance to go follow Chris on Twitter at CPhilly19 or at SEC Unfiltered to catch all the SEC updates about him and his team. Chris, thanks, man. We appreciate it. Have a great night.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Y'all be good.
If you missed Chris's segment tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Do you need a new job? Are you sick of the one you're stuck in right now? Controlled Comfort is hiring. They're hiring technicians to get out in the field, work with their amazing heating and air products, and help houses, businesses, homeowners, people around the city of Omaha get back into the comfort of their own home when it's too hot out or too cold out, and have peace of mind about their HVAC unit. Check out controlledcomfort.com to apply tonight. We'll be right back. Finding out what's trending on social media. We come back at 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody. It's John Schreiner here for Paul Davis Restoration. Listen. The storms that rolled through last weekend, did they cause any damage to your home? Did you start to feel a little dampness downstairs? Was there some concerns about mold maybe somewhere in the basement? Have you just noticed something that doesn't seem right? Call this number, 402-553-0373, and get Paul Davis out to check it out and just make sure that there's no damage. And if there is, Paul Davis can put it back to the way it was before it ever happened. And keep that number in your phone in case of an emergency situation. If there's a big storm and your basement gets flooded, call 402-553-0373. The emergency response team at Paul Davis will be out to your house in a flash, getting you set up for success and getting your home put back together the way you want it. It's Paul Davis Restoration.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you. And for college sports, visit BUBruins.com.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Life is unpredictable. With seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner, you can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in a romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Put a bow on the first hour here on 1620 Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience this fall, head over to bellevue.edu and register for classes. Tonight, thank you very much to our good friend Chris Phillips from SEC Unfiltered for joining us. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page tonight. It is time for the social media soundbite with Dan Campinen, Lightning Fingers Dan, they call him, the fastest fingers in the West, has done some crack research and found us a better social media soundbite than what he had. Can I ask, what did you have teed up for us originally?
Rich Eisen making his
that's a good one.
It was a good one.
re-debut on Sports Center last night with the old music, old intro, showing how a real pro does it.
I need Sports Center to do like their best SNL impersonation and just bring people back like every 20 years to host the show.
It was good.
It was really good. That's what Sports Center used to be.
Yeah.
Think
watchable.
Think Rich Eisen knew what number Barry Sanders wore and what team he played for?
Doubt it.
That's topical.
Doubt it. I bet he had no clue.
Dan, what do we got for the social media soundbite tonight?
Well, as I was quickly instructed before we came back, Dan, search Matt Rule finger.
Yeah.
And
fingers plural.
did not take that much time to find the correct result. Matt Rule finally gave the explanation of the finger pointing gesture that we have seen umpteen times in every single photo that he has ever taken. And I will put up a graphic as well to show everyone loves the finger thing.
That is a great explanation, and I feel like a complete moron that I didn't see that sooner. And I want to point out to everybody that is in the swag game, I've seen a lot of different sweaters and T-shirts that now have this on it with the panhandle of Nebraska pointing to the left. Yeah. Make sure that you flip your camera around when you post your stuff onto your print.
Yeah, that and maybe don't make that swag. It looks weird on a t-shirt, guys. It looks super weird on a t-shirt. It's like cool when it's a hand gesture and it looks like you're pointing at the person who's next to you, but it's super weird.
So we got to talk about. Oh, no. Leave that up there because we got to break this down because we got to talk about the picture. If you're punching in for the night shift and you're watching on the stream right now, you could see that Dan Campion in his sweet yellow jacket. And that who's the young lady with you there?
That is my sister.
Which one?
Last I checked, my only one.
Okay, all right. So the gentleman standing in the middle is famously Matt Rule, and Dan is doing the 2-finger gesture, but you don't have the knuckle propped up.
I'm missing the knuckle.
So I'm going to grade you with a C on the.
It's a solid B.
I'll grade you with a C on the finger point, but I think
I'll take a C. I was so nervous in that moment.
I think it's important to point out something that Matt Rule said in that press conference. Nobody needs to see me with both my arms around people with my gut hanging out. But his gut's not really hanging out here, but that's exactly what Matt Rule is doing in this picture with Dan and his fourth sister.
Yeah, I felt his hand hit my back, and I was like, is he not doing it? Is he not doing the gesture?
He's not doing the thing. He's not doing the thing.
I wanted the thing. That was the whole point. Was to get the thing.
I love this, and I think this is incredibly cool. And it's a way to make something unique to Nebraska. I think it's awesome.
Like so many schools have a hand symbol that their fans.
Everybody
do,
in
right?
the SEC.
Yeah, and we did this on Schick and Nick once. It was my trivia question to them: which old Southwestern Conference team didn't have an official hand symbol?
Was it Arkansas?
It was Arkansas.
Oh,
every other team had an official like fan hand symbol. So yeah, maybe this is ours.
Is this ours
Arkansas?
Now.
Are you sticking your finger up your nose?
No,
what are you doing?
Kind of, but I'm sticking my nose up my finger. Actually, technically,
I mean, Jerry Jones famously went to the University of Arkansas and is from Arkansas.
Glory hole.
Doesn't he seem like a guy who would stick his finger up his nose?
Yeah.
He probably scratched his brain a couple times.
On a regular basis. Hey, if you missed the social media soundbite, want to figure out which Nebraska head coach Dan hangs out with on a regular basis, do so on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. If your business needs help with social media marketing, website design, or online advertising, pixelfiremarketing.com is here to help. They'll ignite your social media presence and entice your ideal client online. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more details tonight. We'll buy or sell on several different topics, including is Anthony Richardson done in the NFL? 1620 The Zone.
So I can buy a beer. Gotta see a doctor about the words I said.
Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they can do it all. They've come out, they've installed a urinal at my business, they fixed the wax ring under a toilet in my home, and every time they left, my house or my business was cleaner than they walked in the first place. Nick and his crew are such professionals. They'll come out even on the holidays. I had Dan, Nick's manager at AX Plumbing, come out on Thanksgiving, came out to my house, was able to water jet my line out, fixed our problem so we could host our Thanksgiving dinner back in the fall. If you have a big problem before a big party you're having, call AXP or AX Plumbing or head over to AXPservice.com to work with Nick and the crew tonight.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future, So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call Local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
You may have heard having radon gas in your home is like getting a chest x-ray. Well, imagine this. Monday, chest x-ray. Tuesday, chest x-ray. Wednesday, another chest x-ray. Day after day, constant exposure to radiation. That's dangerous, and it can lead to serious health risks like cancer. You can't see, taste, or smell radon, but it could be lurking in your home. Protect your family. Get your home tested today. Call Radon Defense Midwest or visit radonradio.com to learn more.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
On a Taste Test Tuesday here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You don't become #1 in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They can do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. It is time for Buy or Sell with Dan Campinen. Hello.
Come on down.
No, Dan Campinen, not Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, sorry. Pat, get out of here. All right. Well,
Thanks,
Jimmy,
Pat. Good to see you.
as you predicted so many months ago, the Colts have tabbed Daniel Jones to be their starter. Buy or sell? This will spell doom for Anthony Richardson.
I sell. Because Anthony Richardson's inability to play quarterback in the NFL has spelled doom for Anthony Richardson. It has nothing to do with Daniel Jones. There's probably about 50 guys that the Colts could have brought in that would have been a better option than Anthony Richardson. I think it's done. I think it's over for Anthony Richardson.
Well, I've been telling you for a while that I'm not all the way done with Daniel Jones. Like, I don't think you can just throw him in the trash bin yet. I said it last year when the Giants let him go, that I thought there was still some juice left in the tank. And look, Anthony Richardson was the hot boy coming out of the draft. Like, he was the guy that everyone was like, there's so much upside. He's got such a high ceiling. And now he just lost his job to the quarterback that everyone wanted to bury in the mud. Like, I'm sorry, but maybe it was never there to begin with.
I famously said it was the biggest reach in the history of the NFL draft. And you know how I feel about Trey Lance. So
which makes that a very scary statement.
Yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks, DJ Lagway is officially taking some reps at fall camp. With the season rapidly approaching, buy or sell Lagway can be ready for primetime.
I buy. Permian Panthers legend James Booby Miles once said, "This is God-given, baby. I just got to show up." He's a 5-star prospect for a reason. I mean, he's got the pedigree to be like, some guys just don't need all the reps during the offseason. I think DJ Lagway is that guy.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to buy or sell, but I'll tell you this. Billy Napier better hope the DJ Lagway can be ready for prime time, because if he's not, and there's more big trouble in Gainesville's no longer going to be Billy Napier's address.
Yeah, and they have ranked the number 1 toughest schedule in the country according to a lot of people. Anybody want to take a guess what movie I just watched recently?
I have no clue. But I buy on this because I think he can be ready for prime time, but it is going to have to be the most accelerated camp and practices that this guy has probably ever experienced. You would hope that his time off the field was spent looking at film and looking at practice reps and getting an understanding of what the offense is supposed to be so that he can be ready. And boy, all the things you guys said are right. If Billy Napier doesn't have a winning season and DJ Lagway is not ready to lead this team to a little bit of glory this year, he's out. Kind of already touched on this with Chris Phillips earlier, but it's going to remain on my buy or sell list because until now, Auburn has only officially recognized their AP football titles from 1957 and 2010. Not anymore, though. They're adding 7 more from 1910, 1913, 1914, 1958, 1983, 1993, and 2004. Buy or sell, this is a weak practice by the Tigers.
I cannot believe I'm going to say this. I sell. I don't have a problem with this because if you do the research, this is kind of found in merit. In 1910, there are 4 teams that could technically claim the national championship. Lauren Maxwell, who is a college football historian, ranked the Tigers number 1. The Billingsley margin of victory has put Auburn as the national champion in 3 of these years as well. David Montgomery, who a lot of people consider maybe the college football historian, gives the Tigers the national championship in 1958 as well as 1983. My problem with this is the 1993 national championship. Auburn was banned from postseason play.
Yeah.
You can't be the national champion if you couldn't participate in the postseason.
2004, anyone? They were not better than USC.
They didn't get the chance to play for it, though.
Because they didn't make the BCS.
They were undefeated.
Dude.
Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown.
Listen. 83, like it was Nebraska or Miami. And Miami won that game. End of story. Sorry, that's how it went.
Auburn scored more points than they did that
I'm with you
season.
on 93. No way. 2004. No way. Like, this is dumb. You didn't earn those national championships. What are we talking about? You're UCF now.
Gotta have something to celebrate. It's been a while since
Come
Cam
on.
Newton walked through those doors.
Grow up.
And speaking of which, that's actually why they're doing it, allegedly, is because they're going to retire Cam. I just lost his name.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton's jersey number. Thank you. And
They won that one.
they were like,
There's no
well,
debate in that.
we need to figure out some more national titles that
Don't
we
do
have so we
that
can
either.
add some fun, fancy stuff around the stadium.
Whoa.
Don't retire numbers.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to say that Cam Newton wasn't worthy of
So,
being honored. Okay.
Arkansas
You
did
mean
a
Scam Newton?
Arkansas did a cool thing with Darren McFadden's number 5.
Run DMC.
They're not retiring it. They're just putting a patch on the number 5 jersey for whoever wears it.
Yeah, I
to
like that.
honor Darren McFadden. This is the appropriate way to do this. Stop retiring numbers. It's dumb.
What else we got, Dan?
Last night, we got to watch some good old-fashioned preseason football in the Commanders and the Bengals. The Commanders got the win in that one.
Yeah.
Congrats, John. I know you always
Hail.
say that the preseason is super important.
Super.
It matters.
Joe Burrow was left out there for 3 series, though, and at times was running for his life. Buy or sell, fans of the Bengals should start worrying about their own line situation.
Hammer and hold. I also think the Taylor family Might want to keep their bags packed. If they miss the playoffs again with this roster after one of the cheapest franchises in the history of the NFL has finally started paying its star offensive players, caveat on that part. You can't do it again and you have more problems on the offense, there's going to be a lot of question marks.
Well, I think that they should certainly be concerned.
It looked awful.
Because look, Washington was no excellent or even marginally good defensive unit last year. And I've been telling you the entire offseason they need another pass rusher. So if that roster with what they have currently is getting after your quarterback, you should be worried.
Agreed wholeheartedly. Last one, Dan.
Oh, I was just going to say that that game last night for Joe Burrow looked real rough.
Wasn't good. That's for sure.
All right. Last one. John, Jimmy, hockey season is still months away.
Ooh, are we opening up the hockey corner?
Yeah, we are.
Do we need to pull the stools away from
We're
the
just going to dust it off for a minute. That's all.
Yeah, we're sort of like pulling it open just to see if there's anything left in the keg. We still have some folks, though. They're hitting the ice right now. Up in Plymouth, Michigan, the Olympic team is getting some ice time in to narrow down their roster to 14 forwards, 8 defensemen, and 3 goalies. No buy or sell here. I just want to get both your opinions on the possibilities for Team USA.
Dan, would you have asked this question if this was taking place in the upper part of Maine?
Yes, I would have.
Okay, all right, that's it.
It would not have mattered if it was Bangor, Maine, or Bemidji, Minnesota. This question would still be on the list.
I don't have a full breakdown of who I think is going to make the team, but I will tell you some players who I would like to see on the team. I do have the 3 goaltenders, I think very clearly, Hellebuck, Ottinger, Swayman.
Yeah.
I think those are the 3 best goaltenders that the USA has. As for the defensemen, I think you got to put Adam Fox on there. I think you got to put Charlie McAvoy, Jacob Slavin, and Zach Werenski on there. Matt Boldy had an incredible season. I think he's got to be on there. Jack Eichel should be your captain, as far as I'm concerned. Jake Gensel, I think, deserves to be on there. Austin Matthews deserves to be on there. The Kachuk brothers, and then Jason Robertson also. It was another name that I felt strongly about. We didn't get to see Jason Robertson much. He was hurt in the playoffs, but that's a dude. And so, I mean, those are the names that stuck out to me that I really want to see on this roster.
I'm with you with the goalkeepers. My only, maybe worry is not the right word, but the way that the Oilers kind of exposed Jake Ottinger in that series, I guess that's the only concern I really have. But he had a fantastic season. But I'm with you with the goaltenders.
Yeah, but do you think that helps it all with having like a generational scorer like Jack Eichel?
Sure didn't hurt.
Kind of on that roster and being able to say, all right, Jake, this is where we know that you're deficient. Because that's the thing, is he's going up against a bunch of guys who he's played before. The only picadillos that I have with your list, John, of the guys that you highlighted, is you excluded Dylan Larkin. And I think he still at this point in his career is young enough, and yes, plays for a terrible NHL team. That's unfortunate for him. But I still think he should get a look to maybe be on the Olympic roster. Patrick Kane, the only reason his name is on this list is because he is a legacy guy.
I think they brought him into camp to show the young guys the ropes.
Yeah. And it's his last time that he's going to be able to make an Olympic roster. So I have a feeling that they're maybe going to make a bad decision there and put Patrick Kane on the roster and let him ride the pine probably, or be a 4th line guy the whole time.
Well, I mean,
and then give me one of the Hughes brothers on defense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. The only thing I'll say is, like, I wouldn't mind Patrick Kane being on the roster so much, but if he's on the roster, they're going to make him the captain, and I think Jack Eichel should be the captain.
I think that's true. Hey, if you missed any of your Buy or Sell tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. Under the After Hours tab, it was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. If you're looking for a new job, Controlled Comfort is hiring. If you have HVAC experience, they're going to push you to the front of the line. They need experienced techs to fill up their lineup to get ready for the winter months. Head over to ControlledComfort.com and apply tonight. We'll be right back. Which teams will, won't, and should lose in week 0/1 of the college football season?
One lift, you're right. Best trip, always.
Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Bob Williams with Williams Law. Summer is coming to an end, and if your son or daughter found themselves in a little bit of legal trouble before they went back to school, and you have questions about their rights, what they should expect from their big date in court, but you don't know where to find those answers at, head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight. Bob and his team are going to sit you and your loved one down, explain your rights, walk you through the process, and get your son or daughter ready for their big day in court. They'll give you a free, no obligation legal consultation just for contacting Williams Law. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Awfully warm this evening with the heat index still in the 90s. Later tonight will be clear to partly cloudy. See the low down to 68 degrees with some fog late. Fog is possible early on Wednesday. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny with a high in the upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot fieldhouse featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience from their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
It's the tail end of the season. Does it seem like your AC unit is already checking out, not kicking on when it's supposed to, not cooling like it did back in April? Your unit may be reaching the end of its life, or may just need some TLC. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today. Set up a maintenance appointment to finish out the summer strong and prepare your home for the fall and winter months. You don't want to replace that AC unit, but if you have to, Controlled Comfort is here.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's the Subaru A Lot to Love event going on now at Baxter Subaru. Get great deals on our incredible lineup of new Subaru models. Experience no handoffs, no hassles, and no hidden fees. See all our inventory anytime at BaxterSubaruOmaha.com.
Tell us how you feel on the JTech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Reach Gary, Matt, Connor, Josh, and John anytime on JTech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Contact the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. JTech Construction, your exteriorexperts.com.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
7:27 on a Taste Test Tuesday on 1620. So not too late. Head over to our Twitter page, retweet the Timber Woodfire Bistro post tonight. You could be entered, or you will be entered into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Timber Bistro. Try the Timber Pie. It is fantastic, and you could be having it on us tonight. Will Won't Should tonight features the topic that everybody wants to talk about. It's week 0, baby, /1. The start of college football season. Which teams will, won't, and should lose in week 0/1? I'm going to start us off because I have an upset for my will.
Okay.
Tulane will lose to Northwestern at home in week 1. Northwestern has to go to Tulane to open the season. Tulane had only 5 home games last year. They only went 3-2. They went 0-2 against the Power 4. They're a 6-point favorite in this game. I think David Braun, Preston Stone, Northwestern goes to New Orleans and gets a win.
Jimmy Allen out on Jake Retzlaff.
That's right.
All right. My will is Iowa State. Farmageddon is going the way of the Wildcats this year. I think Kansas State comes out on top over in Ireland, and we start the discussion about Kansas State potentially making the college football playoff in week 0.
Dan?
My will for week 1, technically, is LSU. They are making the trip to the much inferior Memorial Stadium of Clemson this year. Brian Kelly's season is not going to get off to a good start. Dabo Sweeney's will.
Good job pronouncing his last name correctly. Which team?
Only for you.
Which team won't lose? Now let's go to should.
Okay.
You know which team should lose in week 0/1? The UTSA Roadrunners. But a lot of people have the Roadrunners as the number 12 seed in the college football playoff. They're one of the Cinderella darlings that people are championing right now. UTSA only plays one Power 4 team this year. So for them to make a college football playoff appearance, it kind of feels like they got to win this one against Mike Elko at Texas A&M College Station. 22.5-point underdogs heading into College Station. If they're able to win this game, I think they make a run to the college football playoff. They should lose in week 1. But if they're going to make a run to the college football playoff like some of the, quote, experts think they can win this game.
My should is the Akron Zips. And this is a thinly veiled shot at Dan Campanen from last year.
I know.
The Zips should absolutely lose to Wyoming. But it's Wyoming, and anything can happen. This game is being played in Akron, Ohio. I think Wyoming is the better team, and Akron should lose this game. But again, you just never know.
Dan?
My should is UCLA. Or no, is it win or lose?
They should lose.
Oh, so then
why?
So then flippity floppity,
Nice.
It should be Utah. Utah should lose. Everyone has them as the favorite right now. They are, I believe, a 6-point favorite in this game right now. They shouldn't be the favorite. UCLA under Deshaun Foster, they were starting to come on at the end of last season, and with the addition of Nico, hard to pronounce long last name,
famously,
Utah should lose to UCLA in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California.
Which team won't lose? And for me, it's Western Illinois.
What?
They're on the road at Illinois. And don't get me wrong.
You're calling the upset?
They're going to lose on the scoreboard. They're not going to lose at the sports book. Western Illinois is the largest underdog on the board for week 1. 46.5-point favorites. They will cover that number against Illinois.
Okay. And my won't. This was the inverse of Dan's will. Clemson. Clemson's not losing in week 1. Clemson is going to win that game because I don't think Brian Kelly fits at LSU. And I just don't like the vibes. Look, I think Garrett Nussmeier is a pretty good quarterback. I think the roster's good. I don't trust Brian Kelly at this point anymore.
Clemson's currently a 4-point favorite. It's in Death Valley. Well, I guess it's at Clemson, South Carolina. I guess you got to be specific with those two schools.
Death Valley?
Which Death Valley it is? Yeah, I don't know. I've hitched my wagon too often to Brian Kelly and been disappointed. I have a feeling they're a college football playoff team this year.
I don't see it.
Dan,
I don't hope for it.
What about Brian Kelly's family?
We haven't given out our address like a bunch of times on this
5011 Capital
Fine Radio. Okay, there we go again. So, folks, I do not want a storming of the gate situation when I say this, because Colorado is not going to lose in week number 1. They get the home game. They get to take on Georgia Tech. And yes, I know what you're saying, but Georgia Tech, they're such a good football team. Nah, not really. They're only a 4-point favorite right now in this game.
On the road.
And I've got a very good feeling that this Colorado team is going to be newly revamped this year, and they're going to be playing for their coach more than ever.
Georgia Tech's on some people's college
football
playoff list.
A lot of people are really high on the Yellow
Haynes
Jackets.
Kings.
It's because they almost beat Georgia at the end of the season last year.
Not me.
And they beat Miami and North Carolina State.
They beat Florida State and Ireland last year.
Yeah, but that mattered.
Also, one more.
It seemed to at the time.
They also beat VMI for other things that are relevant.
If you have access to Fox Sports 1 on that Friday at 6 o'clock in the evening, Western Michigan at Michigan State, that's going to be a game with some fireworks.
Because Aiden Childs?
Because Dan's a northern sicko.
Because Michigan State is poo-poo, and Western Michigan always has a chip on their shoulder about being little brother to everybody.
I'm really excited to see Eastern Michigan at Texas State, by the way, just for the fact that Brian Munson's son Trevor is now on the coaching staff at Eastern Michigan. So I'm going to keep an eye on the Eagles all season long as well. You can always keep an eye on the After Hours Lounge on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. This segment's been brought to you by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, the premier suit buying experience in the Midwest. Might be the premier discount buying experience in the Midwest as well. Their summer clothing line is all on sale right now, all the way up until the end of the month. 20 to 50% off suits, sports coats, pants, polos, shorts, shirts. They have it all. 20 to 50% off on their summer rack right now. Head over to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, 78th and Dodge. They've been dressing Omaha for over 50 years. Our top 25 plays in 25 days rolls on. We come back. 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody. John Schreiner here for your Taste Test Tuesday, and tonight it's Timber Wood Fire Bistro. Follow us on social media, retweet the post. You could be in the drawing for a $25 gift card from Timber Wood Fire Bistro. Let me tell you about some of the great things that you could get with that $25. Our favorite thing on the menu that they brought us to try, the Timber Pie. Here's what's on it. Organic tomato, sopressata, jalapeno bacon, pepperoni, mozzarella, whipped ricotta, and hot honey. And it is an absolute carnival for your taste buds. Fabulous, fabulous pizza. One of the best in the entire city. On the weekends, they've got one of my all-time favorite meals. Yes, it's beef Wellington. You can get that on the weekend. They've got a selection of steaks. They've got burgers. They've got great apps like the Milanese meatballs. If this doesn't make your mouth water, I don't know what will. And the side that you should definitely get is the Durham focaccia, a house-made, just a beautiful bread with whipped ricotta, raw honey, truffle oil. It absolutely melts in your mouth. If all that sounds good to you, be sure to get yourself in the drawing for the $25 gift card to Timber Wood Fire Bistro.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with Trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call Local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Hey, neighbor. Oh my gosh, is your energy bill sky high again? When is it going to end?
Not anymore. My old windows were so drafty it felt like I had one open all the time. So I upgraded to Champion Windows.
Champion Windows? Are they really that good?
They're fantastic. Energy efficient, super durable, and backed by a lifetime guarantee. And right now, it's Champion's anniversary sale. They're celebrating over 72 years with 40% off new windows.
Wait, 40% off? That's a serious deal.
I know. I just went online and booked a free estimate. So easy.
So if I need windows and act now, I can save 40%?
Yep, but you gotta hurry.
Call 877-GO-CHAMPION or visit ChampionSaveNow.com to schedule your free estimate. Champion's 40% off anniversary sale won't last long. Call 877-GO-CHAMPION or visit ChampionSaveNow.com. All discounts apply to our regular prices. Select styles apply. Minimum purchase required. Cannot be combined with other advertised offers. See store or website for details.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$7.40 on a Taste Test Tuesday here at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Free estimate for your windows, roof, gutters, and siding is waiting for you at pyramidroof.com. They've been #1 in Omaha for over a decade. That doesn't happen by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com tonight. Our 25 plays in 25 days rolls on, and we're at number 7, which means we only have to give one play for the rest.
Yeah.
The rest of the time leading up to the Cincinnati game next Thursday. I'll go ahead and start us off because mine is one that has already been on all of your lists. It should be on everybody's list ever watched Nebraska football. It's that one time that Domikins threw Colt McCoy 964 yards backwards in the Big 12 championship game. Here it is, Dan Capitan. Nobody had a longer night on this night than Chris Hall. The guy just, for whatever reason, they kept letting him go one-on-one with Ndamukong Suh. Now, this is not the famous play where he throws Colt McCoy back, which is the play that I highlighted. But I highlighted this play because in this one play, the pressure just closes in on Colt McCoy, and he tries taking off. And Ndamukong literally uses one hand to fight off a guy that played in the NFL to drag another grown man with one hand backwards and prevent him from gaining any yards. We already played the play where he chucks him 954 yards, but I played this one just because Chris Hall, my man, you had a rough evening.
Yeah, that like everything but the final second. That game's a great watch.
Yep. My next play, by the way, also of that same vein. Different game, but yeah. Go ahead. What's your number 7?
All right. Number 7. It's perhaps the most famous play call in Nebraska history. It is Black 41 flash reverse. Dan?
That's the best part of that. It's just it's Eric Crouch.
Of course, that comes to you from the 2001 Oklahoma game.
Oh, is that when that happened?
When, as you heard on the call, if you heard it on the call, if you're not on the stream, handoff to Thunder Collins, who pitches it back to Mike Stunts, and he throws down the sideline to Eric Crouch, who outruns the defense for the score. Again, that the name of that play, every Husker fan worth their salt knows it. And there's no other play that you know that's what it's called.
Well, you know how well it was run to perfection when the announcers are watching this play develop and they throw the pass down the field. Crouch is so fast that they don't even see him leak out of the backfield. But it's run to perfection so well. They have no idea who it possibly could be.
Yeah, they don't know
it
who's
shouldn't be the
receiving the
quarterback.
pass.
Yeah, great play call. And obviously it was the change in that game. People forget that Oklahoma basically tried doing the same thing about a quarter and a half sooner.
Yep.
Did not work out well for the Sooners.
Hey.
Dan?
Well, it's actually super appropriate that a play against the Sooners is what John chose and what segues into mine, because let's turn back the clock.
Shall we?
From John's play to 30 years earlier. And quite possibly the reason a Nebraska football player won their very first Heisman.
That might be the most famous call in Nebraska from a broadcaster standpoint.
Yeah,
in Nebraska football.
Of course
history.
it is. Yes,
Man,
the radio
woman, and
call.
child.
Everyone's heard it 150 times.
Yes, they have. And if you can't get behind, number one, Nebraska's very first Heisman winner, Johnny Rodgers, literally an award named after him now in the college football pantheon and in the college football video game, which means that you are nationally recognized by everybody who cares about college sports. If you can't get behind man, woman, and child, put them in the aisles, and that just took them out of their shoes. Watching that clip back
loose from their shoes.
Also just makes you realize, like, Johnny Rodgers was fast, but that 1971 Husker football team had some real athletes on it, because there are like 3 guys when he's returning the football who pass him by and just assume that Johnny Rodgers is going to outrun the punter on Oklahoma's football team. The missed block assignments on like punt protection will never not make me laugh. Whenever you see any of them, from back then even to today, the way that they all just sprint by the punter and go, Johnny's got it. He's fine. That guy's going to miss anyway.
Our 25 plays in 25 days continues to roll on. If you missed it, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620 The Zone.com. Is brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration. Seasonal storms are nowhere near being wrapped up. You might want to save this number. It's 402-553-0373, because if there's water that gets behind your window, it may build up some mold. Maybe when you start cooking for the holidays, there may be some smoke damage from a turkey that cooked too long. If any of that happens, you're going to want that number. It's 402-553-0373. Paul Davis will restore your home to the way it was before any of that damage occurred. Call Paul Davis and have your home restored tonight. We'll be right back, wrapping up the show with our trash takes on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. 'Tis the season for tree roots to be clogging your drains. That drain in the basement continuing to back up. It's probably from either your tree, maybe your neighbor's trees. Tree roots finding their ways into your drain. Head over to axpservice.com tonight. Let AX Plumbing come out, scope your drain, remove all of the tissue and the issues that are going on inside the drain. Maybe it's tree roots, maybe it's backed up debris, whatever it may be. The water jetting process will relieve all of that from the pipe. Head over to axpservice.com and stop worrying every time you turn on the water tonight.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
It's the tail end of the season. Does it seem like your AC unit is already checking out, not kicking on when it's supposed to, not cooling like it did back in April? Your unit may be reaching the end of its life, or may just need some TLC. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today. Set up a maintenance appointment to finish out the summer strong and prepare your home for the fall and winter months. You don't want to replace that AC unit, but if you have to, Controlled Comfort is here.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, he'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Wrapping up the show on a Taste Test Tuesday. Jimmy Allen, John Schreiner, Dan Campion with you here tonight, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Head over to PyramidRoof.com to get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They can do it all. Check out PyramidRoof.com tonight. It's time for our trash takes. What we'll do here is all of us will give you a take to wrap up the show. We'll put a poll up on Twitter. You can vote for who had the best take. Whoever receives the fewest amount of takes will have the trashiest take of the night. I'll go ahead and start us off. It is a little bit of breaking news. I guess about an hour ago it was revealed Gable Stevenson, the former Minnesota standout on the wrestling mat, is going to try his hand at the USC. He tried his hand at professional wrestling, just didn't come to fruition there. It didn't really seem like it was a very good match. This is a guy that was 103-3 with his dual record, and he went 59-0 against Big Ten opponents. The guy was unstoppable at Minnesota. It's going to be really interesting to see what he does in the octagon. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, that's a big dude with elite wrestling credentials, and we have seen guys, Daniel Cormier, with elite wrestling credentials perform really well at the highest levels of MMA. This is a story that I'm certainly going to follow. All right, there's trouble in New Orleans. Maybe you already knew that. While most of the teams in the NFL who had quarterback competitions ongoing have at least named their week 1 starter, New Orleans is still not decided between Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler.
That tells you it's Tyler Shuck, right?
It tells me that they don't know. And that's a problem for Kellen Moore in his first year as the head coach of the Saints.
Yeah, who's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer.
If you get to this point in the preseason and you have a rookie and a guy who played in a few games and started a couple for you last season, and you can't tell the difference between them yet, baby, things are not looking good. The Saints have a serious quarterback problem.
Dan?
Speaking of problems, a gentleman by the name of Victor Robles has a big problem right now. The Seattle Mariners outfielder, who was on a AAA rehab assignment, has been suspended for 10 games. You might wonder, what could he have done to draw in the ire of the MLB?
Dan, what did he do to draw the ire of the MLB?
He threw a baseball bat at a pitcher.
Not great.
Not super great. 10-game suspension, I will say, though, for doing what he did. It's wildly inappropriate. Drop the bat, raise the fisticuffs, get into it like a normal human being and a normal baseball player would. There's no reason to throw your bat, and the 10-game suspension to me is a little bit light. I would have him out for the rest of the season and say, you've got to think about what you did. Go back to when, I believe it was Mike Piazza, tried to kill Roger Clemens with a spiked end of a bat, and see how that worked out.
If you ever need time to reflect on what you've done in your life, or maybe you're facing a suspension, need to kill some time, you can do it on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. This segment was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. Aloe has been empowering communities in the Nebraska area since 2003, and they've got a great deal. They've partnered with DirecTV and created the all-new Aloe Mobile. You can head over to aloefiber.com/stack and partner with DirecTV and Aloe Mobile with yourself and have an all-fiber network ran right up to your house. Up until Labor Day, you could save by switching and stacking tonight. aloefiber.com/stack. You're going to get 24 months of uninterrupted, great service with no surprise fees. Check out aloefiber.com/stack tonight. For Dan Campen and John Schreiner, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Potato Day, everybody.
Boil them, mash them, put them in a stew.